Hello everybody, I'm RENZO Mocs, and welcome back to finally another mock review. Again, I'm a little late to the party. It's been a while, and I hope to redeem myself a little bit with a brand new mock review. Instead of doing one mock, hopefully to satisfy you guys, I decided to do two mocks. So the two mocks that we have here are pictured from left to right. We have Zask and then Tempolini. So let's start off with the small one first. So Mr. Tempolini here actually has a personality, unlike Zask. So let's just take a look at him. Mr. Tempolini is, or used to be, an ex-businessman who used to play kind of dirty, not by the rules per se. And Tempolini was just kind of a dirty sort of trickster businessman, until one day he found this creepy looking mask. As you can tell mostly by his color scheme, his normal colors, or his normal color scheme, does not consist of yellow. So he strapped on that mask and he became really evil, basically. And it amplified all of his negative thoughts. So he used to be really just a little bit scummy. Now he's really scummy. Stuff like that. Just looking at him, he's got a nice, short, stout build, but at the same time, and his foot popped off, but at the same time, he's not very skinny. He's actually pretty bulky for his build, and he's not tiny. He's not like a tiny Okoten build. He's actually got quite a lot of beef to him, which I really like. He's got a little backpack thing on the back, too, and his color scheme is this sort of consistent blue and white, of course, until you get to the mask, which is just yellow. And as you can see there, I did give him this sort of eye thing, which I really like. The only disadvantage is that these pieces stick out on the back, but I was just trying something, and I think I make his eyes pop out a lot, give him a lot of color. And if I were to change anything about this guy, it would be the fact that these pieces for the horns are white. I would change those to yellow to make it look like it's part of the mask. I do like his hat, though. I think that's a nice little addition. He's got a little bit of a, let me just bring the lights over. You guys can see him a little better. He does have a little tie there, a little dark red tie. I don't like his arms because they are just black. That is the least interesting part of him. And he does have a gun. I don't really know what this would be, just some sort of space ray gun thing. It's got four little barrels to shoot little boop, boop, bling. He's got a weird looking handle. I just love this guy. He's got a fun, nice look. And I put a lot of work specifically into his hair. I think his hair turned out really nicely in the back there. He does kind of have this super long neck so that he can articulate a lot, and you can get a lot of expression out of this guy. But as you can see, he's really simple. There's not much to Mr. There isn't much to Mr. Tempolini. So yeah, let's just move on. Now, personally, I like Tempolini a lot better than Zask, mostly because I think Zask is pretty generically boring. He doesn't have much to really stand out in the way of his build. He's very generic. He's kind of just got this sort of big torso and these weird little chicken legs that nobody likes. He does have this chain sort of hook weapon, which I am a big fan of. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like this for you guys, but it's really dark, really shadowy. I hope that's a little better. He does have this hook weapon, which he'd be able to throw or whatever, whip it around like a nunchuck or whatever. And as you can see, he does have these chicken legs, which was a big part of his design, because as I was building him, I realized he looked pretty dang generic, so I decided to slap on some big, long chicken legs. And I'm just really happy to actually use this head again after my character Crowley from Bairama, obviously. Usually after I look at a head for a decent amount of time, I sort of associate that character with that head. And I have for a lot of other characters, but for the most part, this is kind of the big difference. Crowley had this head in Bairama, and now this character has it. And this character is not going to be a big character. In fact, he was originally supposed to be a good guy. But then I just figured he looked better as a bad guy, so I threw him in. He does have the... Frig, he fell. He does have A very nice body build in my opinion. It's very beefy and it doesn't really fit with his character per se, but I do like it. The back's a little empty. I would have fixed that if I cared. He does kind of have this tube sticking out, which was kind of supposed to be like hair, but I mean, you can detach it and it still works as hair, I guess. Yeah, just keep it detached or whatever. It actually loosens up his head for a lot more articulation. I'm not a big fan of the way his neck looks. I think that just sticks out way too much. And I'm not a particularly big fan of how the arms look. They just look really stumpy and they just blend too seamlessly. They just kind of stop at the arms there, and it's not my favorite look in the world. But I do like the idea that he has a chain-based weapon, I think. I love chain weapons. I love characters that just whip around their weapons. I think it's particularly really fun to watch, especially if it's got like an aggression to it. So just imagine him like flailing this around all over the place. It's really fun to watch, in my opinion. I don't know if I'll be able to make him do that, but, you know, one can dream. But that is Zask. There really isn't much else to say. I like the name Zask, and I wanted to use that. And I had a character lying around, and I liked his design enough to keep him anyways. So I decided to name him Zask. So I didn't really put in a size comparison, mostly because you guys get the gist by now. I'm pretty sure Zask is taller than RENZO, and obviously Mr. Tempolini is shorter than RENZO. That's kind of the gist by now. If it's a tall character or a medium-sized character, I'll give you guys a sort of size comparison. But I feel like for this video, it wasn't really necessary. And plus, I do plan to show these characters on screen next to each other, so you'll get your size comparison then. One fact I did want to mention, the name Mr. Tempolini is obviously very Italian sounding, and that's because this character is at least planned, this guy is at least planned to have an Italian accent, I think. Something along that lines. If it isn't Italian, if it's more New York, then I do apologize. But Mr. Tempolini just works so well for the little hat and the business suit demeanor that he has. I really like Tempolini. He's a fun little character. As for Zask, he's not very fun, but he's a decent mock in my opinion. He's definitely a mock that is going to get scrapped later on once I'm finished using him. He's just not that interesting to me. But as a mock, I think he's fine. You know, he's not an awful mock. He doesn't deserve to get scrapped. But again, just as a mock, he's fine. So yeah, this was another review, and I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, I know I've been a little scarce on reviews lately, but I have a lot of characters to review, and I have a lot more stuff to show you guys, so I hope to get to that soon. Also, where's Renzo episode 6? Soon. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys later. Goodbye.